since 2019, so I've been in. I've almost lost count how many times I've been into them camps and prisons, to be honest.
Right. And do they look any different this time than the last time you were there?
Yeah, there's definitely a difference. I can't say too much at the minute because there's something actually going to be released in the Sun, which is quite explosive, but it's going to give you a sort of truer insight into what's going on across there.
Right.
I've known this for a long time, and I saw what I saw in 2019. I'm actually seeing now. IS think they're about to be freed.
And are they?
At the moment, you've got Turkish-backed jihadist groups, SNA and what have you, in Turkey, attacking the Kurds. The Turks, HTS, and the SNA. Bear in mind, HTS, SNA are full of so-called ex-ISIS and Al-Qaeda.
Right.
So they want control of the camps. Ask yourself why they want control of them camps.
Well, I mean, and presumably with all of these different groups with different ideals and, you know, different sort of positions on various things, one of them's going to end up on top, aren't they?
One of them is. However, there's still obviously a lot of talks to go on. You've obviously got the Americans in northeast Syria at the minute. Bear in mind that the Kurdish SDF, they fought against ISIS from day one, Mike. You know what I mean?
Right.
They're the ones that defeated ISIS on the ground. They're the ones that have been keeping 60,000 plus ISIS in prisons and camps. And by the way, they're not refugee camps. They're full of ISIS.
Yeah.
The refugee camps comes from these NGOs, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? But they're ISIS camps.
Right.
They're not.
So there's a lot of
ISIS.
ISIS. There's still a lot of ISIS individuals in that part of the world, then.
Oh yeah. Obviously, I've always called the likes of Al Hol the last of the caliphate, but the start of the next caliphate. And that's for a reason, because in there, they are as loyal to ISIS now as the day they went and joined.
As they ever were, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We've got a clip, actually, Alan. I'm just going to show this. This is you confronting Shamima Begum. Let's have a look.
Can you get out, please? I don't want to talk to you.
Can we talk to you?
Oh, get out.
Is that you, Shamima, yeah?
Yes, can you get out?
Can we speak to you?
No, I didn't say that you can come in here, get...
No, we're not in the tent, so we're outside. I'm from Britain as well. Are you missing Christmas in Britain? Oh, well, Merry Christmas. Another Christmas here, eh?
She wasn't keen to see you, Alan.
I've been there to expose her and all ISIS. Bear in mind, it started, I interviewed her husband. There was certain things he said in his interview that was that set me off. I knew straight away there was more, so I actually went looking. So I've got the witnesses.
Yeah.
I know she was in the training camps.
Yeah.
I know her mate was selling Yazidi women and children. How many times was Shamima and her husband in that house and them Yazidi slaves were getting abused and been her slave in the house? Ask yourself that.
Yeah, exactly. And what do you make of what her situation is now? Because, you know, there's a conversation again being had here about should she be brought back, should she not? You know, I think the common thread seems to be at the moment, no, definitely not. But there are a few people who are starting to waver a little bit. I mean, would you say that she is still what you would call captured by ISIS? I mean, she hasn't changed, has she?
None of them have. This again goes back to the start, Mike. These people, right. I'll never forget, there was an ISIS woman, probably the most honest one I've ever had. Bear in mind, I've talked to a lot of ISIS on and off camera. And I'll never forget her saying, don't trust a word, they're conning you. But more importantly, Mike, I know of Yazidi slaves, including the one we rescued, that were actually held in Shamima Begum's camp at the very start when they all got captured. And they've confirmed to me many times, and this is more than one Yazidi, they were like, yeah, the Westerners are sitting there and they're saying, yeah, up here, we're still ISIS, but we'll show our face, we'll do the pity me. And there's something actually, again, this is connected to this trip over Christmas. There's going to be some stuff that's going to, some stuff coming up in this Sun piece that's going to be going into that side.
Yeah.
You're going to be, I'm not shocked because I've heard it so many times, but again, you know, who's better than to get people on the ground that have been dealing with these people for years? Who better to speak to or get them to speak to you than the people looking after that are holding the ISIS pigs?
Yeah, of course. And what I mean, they're sort of prisoners in this camp, aren't they? As you said, they're being watched over because they are all ISIS. What are the conditions actually like? I mean, we saw the tent there. Difficult to know what she's got in the tent, but I mean, she looks healthy enough whenever we see pictures of her.
So, again, this comes down to the NGOs and the Pity Me Brigade and certain media. They've been saying for years the conditions in these camps are atrocious, they're terrible, they're all this. Well, I'll tell you what, I've been into plenty camps across there that have been holding Yazidi victims who lost their homes. And I'm telling you, them camps are in a really good condition. They're not, you know, they're getting fed. You see yourself. Yeah. They've got tents. They're, you know, they're very comfortable. Let's just say,
right.
More comfortable than personally I believe that they should be.
Right.
But hey,
well, certainly more comfortable than the people they're responsible for murdering, anyway.
Yeah, definitely. And the thing is, you know, Shamima's been given. I mean, you've seen that little tiny clip there. However, I actually go walking in and around. Her tent is smack bang in the middle of it. You know, it's in that she's been attacked. She's under threat. I've been in them camps when they've been murdering people, Mike. I've stood over bodies of women and children that have been murdered by ISIS in them camps. Trust me on this. If they want you dead in them camps, you would be gone that night. Right. No ifs. She is a perpetrator, not a victim. ISIS are perpetrators, not victims. Isn't it about time we focused on the actual victims, the 2,600 Yazidi women and children who are still missing, that were sold and raped by her lot? Yes. Isn't it time we focused on the victims and not the ISIS pigs like her? Yeah. She gets back, they all get back. And you were right, Mike. These people will not stand they won't stand trial when they get here to Britain. I think it was the previous. They will not stand, and they know that.
Yes, of course they do. Listen, Alan, it's great to talk to you. We'll look forward to the next piece in The Sun.